Hello folks, welcome to my channel and welcome to the first of many Football Manager 2020 simulations. That's right, we're going to try and simulate over the next few days each one of them, the key domestic leagues, and also we're going to take a look at some of the major European ones as well. We'll do it on a video by video basis. What I mean when they simulate the season is basically we'll take a look at currently what its situation looks like. We're going to fast forward to halfway through the season, see what the situation is, and then we'll plough through to the end of the season and see what Football Manager expects to happen this season. And in this video, we're going to take a look at the Premier League, boys and girls. That's right. So here we are at the main dashboard. I've created myself as a manager, but I'm unemployed, not looking for jobs. I'm just here for simulation purposes only. Now, what we're going to look at is the Premier League, boys and girls. So let's fire that up. Not the Russian Premier League. It's pretty much a simple request here. I just want the Piston Premier League. So we'll go have a look at them then, shall we? Flipping heck. There we go. So this is what the current situation looks like. Now this is in beta format, so you know some things may change when the actual game comes out. What you do recognise here is that there's no official logos associated with the Premier League, except for Watford. I think Watford look like they've got their own official logo, which is strange. The rest of them don't have the correct rights and provisions. Now, there are third-party add-ons you can add to do that. I will look to do that eventually, but while the beta's out, we're just going to leave it as is, and we'll take a look at it. So this is what it is. It's a completely clean platform here, and what we're going to do is plough forward now to halfway through the season and see what the current shape of the Premier League will look like as we, because it is, what is it? We have just entered the month of November, so we're kind of going to have a little bit of an overview to see if things are on track a little bit, to see what's currently happening in the real world. I'll also bring up to date with any major transfers and all that kind of good stuff. And again, this is just my bizarro world. What will happen in your FM20 could be completely different. For example, Everton might come away with it and storm the league. You just don't know. But there are, you know, more likely scenarios than others. So let's take a little look. We'll fast forward to around about December, January, something like that. Take a little look at what's going on in the Premier League. So here we are, folks. We fast forwarded to January the 1st, New Year's Day. Happy New Year 2020, boys and girls. We're going to take a little look at what's going on in the Premier League. Now we'll jump straight to it. So in this bizarro world, we've played 19 games, and currently we have a bit of a similar sort of situation, but not really. Manchester City are running away with it at the moment, 3 points clear of Arsenal at the top of the table. It is, again, halfway through the season. Towards the bottom, though, Leicester City are in the relegation zone alongside Sheffield United and Crystal Palace. That's the two major surprises is there. Is Leicester City are struggling, whereas in the real world, they're absolutely flying. You know, as of recording, this is what the 5th of November. They sit pretty third in the table, and they're actually one of the major surprises and major refreshing points out in the Premier League right here, right now. Also, Crystal Palace are doing bits as well. They're 9th in the table in the real world. They're down here in 18th spot at the moment. Sheffield United, another team that's doing considerably well in the real world. FM have them down in 20th spot at the moment. Now, we're not going to dabble into the other leagues. If you want to check out the other leagues, I've created new simulations for the Championship. I'm hoping to do one for League 1 and hoping to do one for League 2. But we're here right now, to check out the Premier League only. Now, this is just halfway through the season. Things could turn themselves around. We might see the likes of Leicester City, Crystal Palace getting better, but as it stands, if the season was to end today, they would be going down. Let's take a look at the top goal scorers at the moment. Chris Wood, that's right, the six-fingered freakazoid from Burnley, leads the way with 12 goals so far from 19 appearances. Hot on his heels, though, it is Sergio Aguero, so that's a familiar name that we expect to be up there. Currently, in the real world, James Vardy is the current top goal scorer. He's down in joint 8th spot with 7 goals. In the real world, he has 10. Aguero has 9. In this simulation, he has 11. Again, it is a little bit further, a couple months further down the line, but you get my drift. Alexander Lacazette is in joint 4th alongside Callum Wilson and Wilfried Zaha. Let's have a look at some of the awards so far this season. Team of the Week, we're not really bothered about that. We're taking a look at the Young Players of the Month. So far, Patrick Cutrone from Wolves picked it up back in August. Marcus Rashford picked it up in September. Todd Cantwell from Norwich in October. And Reece James just picked it up in November. As for the players Player of the Year. We don't want to look at that. Player of the Month. Sorry, Sergio Aguero got it in August. Pepe got it in September. Song Heung-min in October. And November was Harry Kane. And the Manager of the Month, if you are so interested, Unai Emery, surprise is weird, got himself 2 Managers of the Months, both in August and September. Kloppy Boy got it in October and Pochettino got it in November. For Tottenham Hotspurs. Let's take a look at the current. Should we look at the transfers? Yeah, we'll look at the transfers. So these are the top deals that took place within the Premier League. So Liverpool spent big, just under 100 million, or maybe just over 100 million on 2 players. Alexander Milic from Napoli. They spent around about 49 million on him. I know him very well from my Football Manager 2020 save with Manchester United, scoring loads of goals for me. He hasn't done too well for Liverpool at the moment, just the 2 goals in the Premier League, 5 games. They also spent money on 53 million on Alex Grimaldo, who is a young Spanish guy, 2 caps to his name. He is a left back. He also played on the left hand side of midfield. Played 11 games so far. An average rating of 6.95. It's not too bad. The next best transfer was from Manchester City, Stefan Savic from Atletico Madrid, the Montenegrin, who's a centre-back. Obviously, in the real world, they do require defensive cover, so this is a good prime example of that. He's played a bunch of games as well, 8 games so far. Nice average rate of 7.24 as well, so good signing for him. Manchester United spent big as well, just under 30 million on Gerard Deulofeu, former Everton player, was obviously on loan, and it was on loan back in the day. Then there was made a permanent deal by Everton, and then they sold him to Barcelona, who was then loaned to Watford, and finally now, in this bizarro world, picked up by Manchester United just for shy under 30 million. Any other big ones? Sarko's gone for Crystal Palace. He's left the Premier League to go to French football. Jared Bowen has left Hull to join Aston Villa. 22 million he's valued now. The youngish attacking midfielder. Started off pretty well. 6 goals in 20 games for Villa in all competitions. A nice average rate as well, 7.21. So not too bad for him. Any other standouts? Not really. Then we're down into the bargain bucket here with some of these boys. But not too bad indeed. So let's take another look at that table. Villa, where are they? They spent money. They're actually sitting in 16th spot as it stands. The Geordies with Mike Ashley and co. Sits there with 20 points on the board. 17 points as well. What about managers? Can we have a look at the managers? There's been any... let's have a look. Job security. If we can sort this out by division, we can take a little look at the Premier League's managers. So Eddie Howe still in charge. Wolves have got new manager. Luciano Spalletti is taking over the reins. Malan Pellegrini's still there. Wilder's there. Solskjaer's still in charge of Man United. Klopp's still in charge as well. Silva still in charge. Crystal Palace have a new manager with Alexander Starkovs. Frank Lampard still remains at Chelsea. Dean Smith as well. Pochettino. Yep, no major surprises. Watford have finally lost their manager again, despite them being out of the drop zone. But anyway, this is just sort of a halfway mark. We're going to fast forward now to the end of the season and take a little look at what went on. So here we are, folks. We fast forwarded to the end of the season, around about the start of June, and we'll take a little look at what's gone on in the Premier League. What does Football Manager 2020 think will happen this season? Well, they think Manchester City will come out on top. 85 points on the board, just 3 defeats so far in the season, which means they would only have to lose 1 more game in the real world if it's going to be on par with this. Whereas Liverpool will have to lose 8. I don't think that's going to happen, but we'll have to see. Liverpool come into this in 2nd spot in this simulation, with Manchester United up to 3rd. They would have to do a massive turnaround if that was to happen as well. Chelsea would occupy the 4th Champions League spot, with Arsenal in 5th, Tottenham in 6th, and West Ham are in 7th. And if this simulation was correct, Sheffield United would go down alongside Crystal Palace and Wolves. Now, that is a bit of a controversial pick, because currently Sheffield United find themselves in 6th spot, Crystal Palace find themselves in 9th in the real world, and Wolves are up to 12th. The current teams that are in the drop zone are Southampton, Norwich and Watford. In this simulation, they have them all staying up. Watford by the skin of their teeth in 41 points. Norwich quite comfortably in 10th, 49 points on the board. And then Southampton in the middle of the park there with 12 points on the board. So, yeah, it's a bit of a barnstorming shout by Football Manager in this simulation. Let's take a look at the top goal scorer of this season. And we did look at it at midway point. Chris Wood was leading the way. But Sergio Aguero caught him out in the end. I guess. They actually ended up joint winners, Aguero and Wood, both with 20 goals this season. Lacazette was in third. Bernardo Silva for Manchester City was in fourth, alongside Harry Kane, Callum Wilson, Richarlison in there, Pepe as well, not far off, Martial and Raheem Sterling. Occupy the top 10 goal scorers this season. Let's take a look at the team of the year and all that kind of jizzle. In fact, let's wrap up these bad boys. Player of the Month awards. We did cover up to, where were we? Harry Kane in November, something like that. Harry Kane did get it in December as well. Martial picked up for Manchester United in January. Sadio Mane picked up his first for the season in February. Sterling got himself one as well. Divock Origi got himself the Player of the Month in April. And Oliver Giroud picked up the award for May. As for the Young Player of the Year, let's take a little look at, or the Young Player of the Month, should I say? Where are you? Young Player of the Month. So we saw up to Reece James. Todd Cantwell got another one in December. Pedro Neto for Wolves picked it up in January. Mason Mount was the victorious in February. Dani Olmo was a transfer pickup by Manchester City. He won the award in March, with Trent Alexander-Arnold victorious in April. Fabio Silva wrapped up the award process in May for the Gunners. Manager of the Month, let's take a look at that. It was dominated by Unai Emery early doors. Klopp got it in October, Pochettino in November. Solskjaer back-to-back wins in December and January. Guardiola picked up 2 out of 3 in February and March, with Klopp in the middle there in April, but he came out on top in May. Now about the team of the year and all that kind of good stuff. Manager of the year goes to Klopp this year. That's a surprise, despite him finishing in second. As for team of the year, this is the situation here. Mane alongside Aguero up top, Sterling on the left, Silva on the right, Kante, and who's that in the middle? Naby Keita for Liverpool. Robertson on the left-hand side, Van Dijk, Stones, and Cancelo at the right back, and Ederson between the sticks. Let's take a look at the transfer situations that went on this season. We did look at some of them earlier. Any new additions? Fabio Silva did join Arsenal in the January transfer window. Any other major stands up? Dani Olmo did join from Kiev. Is that Dynamo Kiev? Yeah, whatever. That's 21 million for them. We did see Alexander Mitrovic. We did go to Leicester. How many goals did he score for Leicester? He just got the 5 in all competitions. Didn't really play that much for them bad boys. Any others? Adam Traore went to Crystal Palace. And that kind of stuff. How about the FA Cup? Who was victorious this season for the FA Cup? English FA Cup. It was Liverpool 1-0 winners over Chelsea, with Firmino scoring the one and only goal. What about the Carabao Cup? Is it Carabao Cup, or is it going to be just League Cup? The Carabao Cup was Chelsea's a bit of silverware this season, beating Tottenham in the final. Let's switch gears over to the... do you want to go take a look at the Championship? Who's going to be playing Premier League football next season? If we can scroll back and take a little look, shall we? So Sheffield United, Palace and Wolves, League One, Championship next season. However, in the Championship, it'll be Reading going up, Stoke second spot, West Brom are in third, Preston, Millwall and Luton going down. So you can clearly say Football Manager is talking dog shit. But just out of the curiosity of this experiment, let's have a little look. Who won let's start with the Europa League. Let's tease up for the Champions League. So the Europa Cup was won by, the Europa League was an all-English final with Man United winning 3-2 on aggregate. So the Europa League was won by Manchester United winning 3-2 after extra time. Where was it played? In Dansk, wherever that is. Goal scorers on the day. Martial got himself a goal to take the lead. Aubameyang got themselves back into it. But McTominay, though, gave United the edge just before half-time. Alexander Lacazette scored straight after half-time to make it 2-2. And then it was Tahiti Chong, the winner, 100th minute on the board. Whereas in the Champions League, it was Barcelona who came out on top over in Istanbul. 3-0 winners over Chelsea, with Griezmann, Suarez and Dembele on the score sheet. No Messi in the final. Oh, there he is. There he is. Surprise, surprise. 2020, we are into the European Championships, and the final was won by England at extra time. The final was played at Wembley, 3-2 in the end. Goals from Ali, Henderson and Luke Shaw. We don't want to look too much into that because I've got some videos about the European 2020 Championships coming up on the channel. Are you surprised with the findings? I'm a little bit surprised. Obviously, Manchester City walking away with it is a little bit... yeah, they are a decent side and they could probably still win the Premier League. but ultimately looks like it's Liverpool's to lose as it stands. But anyway, give me your thoughts and opinions about what you thought about this brief simulation. I was going to do 100 simulations, but I hit a bit of a roadblock early doors, and it is only the beta. We might revisit that when the actual game comes out around about November 19th, something like that. But until then, give me your thoughts and opinions in the old comment section down below. Smash the thumbs up and all that kind of good stuff, and make sure you smash the subscribe. New videos pretty much every single day, including plenty of FM20 content. Till then, ciao for now. Thanks again for watching. Please like, share, and most importantly, hit the subscribe button to keep you bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, Championship related, football related. We've got it all covered right under one roof. And while I still have you, please be sure to check out some of the old videos scattered along here. I hope.